Now we're at the Majestic Hotel, and today is Women in Motion, and we're gonna meet Eva Longoria, and she's gonna talk about the women in the film industry.
And I also am very excited to welcome our guest this morning, Eva Longoria.
Hi, how are you?
Actress, producer, director. How did you come into your own power as a producer?
I was on the set of Desperate Housewives. You know, it was a decade of my life, for 10 years, and I knew I wasn't reaching my full potential. Like, I would go to work, say my lines, and I would leave. And the show was the biggest show in the world at the time, and I just realized, like, I didn't have any control of which take they used, who was cast as my love interest, you know, the music or how I was edited, and I always looked at the people behind the monitor, and I was like, who are those people? And I feel like, you know, people go out, you're actor turned producer director, and I've always been a producer in my head. I've loved the business side of the industry, and so I used Desperate Housewives as my film school. I paid attention where the lights went, what the cameras do, what the lenses do, and I knew I wanted to have more control of the final product. You know, I didn't want to just go and say lines. I wanted, you know, I wanted to cast. I wanted to pick the writer. I wanted to do. And so that's really what inspired me to produce and start directing. Directing was scary. I remember I wanted to do it. I wanted to do it. I wanted to do it. And somebody asked me to do it. And I go, yes. And then I went home and I went, why did I say yes? Like, I was terrified, and I think a lot of women think that. They go, I'm not ready, I need a little bit more experience, and you have to just do it. You have to just get the experience. And so, you know, I've been directing for 12 years now, and I love it. I think I'm really good at telling people what to do.
Remind us what the first thing you directed was.
It was a short film. It was for Glamour Reels. Glamour magazine used to do stories from their magazine and make them into short films, and so they would get different directors, and that was the first thing I did. Then I did a second short film called Out of the Blue with Ron Howard as my mentor. It was an action film, and that was for Canon. Canon did a whole series, a special series for their new cameras. And then I started doing TV episodic, and now I'm doing my first feature with Universal Studios, starring Kerry Washington, and it's a comedy. And
you're in it as well.
I am in that one as well, and I also, you know, I'm doing a couple pilots for television as well. So it's been fun, and yeah, I think it's important. Like, once the door is open and you're there, to leave the door open for other women. And so I produce and direct a show called Grand Hotel in the States on ABC, and we were crewing up and we were hiring, and I said, I want a female DP. And of course everybody sends me the lists of Bob and Tom and Harry, and I said, I'm sure Bob and Tom and Harry are good, but like, I just want to be exposed to female DPs. And you know, the consensus is always, oh yeah, we didn't think of that, sure. And then they sent, you know, some names. And so we have a wonderful DP, Allison Kelly, who does Grand Hotel, our show. She also did my pilot I just did for CW called Glamorous. Amazing DP. And then when I hire her, she makes sure the camera crew hires women. So she gets women on the camera crew, women ACs, women operators, and both my assistant directors were female. Our stunt coordinator was female. Our editors were female. I mean, the majority, 7 out of 12 directors that we used in the season were female. So you're really shit out of luck if you're a man on our show, because we just fill those positions first with women, and then people of color, and then because we have to start building this pipeline of talent. If they don't get the opportunity, then how are they ever going to be ready and exposed to these experiences?
What do you find that it does to the storytelling to have 7 of the 12 directors be female?
Yeah, it's different. You know, the way we would shoot a sex scene is definitely a different perspective than I think a man would. I'm not saying we're better. I'm just saying it's different. It's a different perspective and a different lens that you don't normally see.
I wanted to talk to you. You're going to direct your first feature. And for as long as we've been doing these talks, we talk about the statistics in the industry
Yeah.
and how few movies are directed by women.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is, and what do you think can be done to increase or improve those statistics?
Yeah. And it's horrible because the statistics are going the wrong way. Like, we're not improving.
And we've had so much discussion that you would think would be some improvement, and studios would be listening, and they would be giving women more chances, but they don't seem to be doing
It's the same thing with like the word diversity. People are like, want to check the box. They want to check the box of hiring a female, so they'll develop something with women, or they'll, give lip service to hiring women or diverse people, and then where does it manifest? What, and then what? I think that it's the gatekeepers, right? So we still have a very patriarchal society in Hollywood. I mean, most studios are still run by men. A lot of the positions in which you can get into the door are by men. And so we need to not only educate the gatekeepers that there's a pool of talent we're not tapping into, which are women, but to change those gatekeepers. Like, I'm not only going to educate you, I'm going to take your job. That's what we need to do.